5, 4, 3, 2.
Crank it, Jerry.
Welcome to Into the Wild, the official podcast of the Washington Wild Pigs.
What do you hear? What do you say?
It's the best sports podcast in the world. Wait, is that true?
If you're committed enough, you can make any story. I once convinced a woman that I was Kevin Costner, and it worked because I believed it.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Dawson.
Did you get the popcorn?
Back on the Wild Things Baseball Network for our post-game show. I just told our home team producer we're not ready, but we'll be ready, and we'll make it work. A final of 8-3 tonight for the Washington Wild Things. They take this one by a final differential of 5 in a game that, again, I want to go back to that comment before we get into the scoring and we discuss things here. After that run scored, the inherited run that Lex Mindert's allowed to come in, and by the way, he picks up his first professional win here after he got out of that inning, with Washington taking the lead in the bottom of the 7th. And the offense certainly showed up after it. I made the comment, and I want to be clear, it was still bloop and blast territory for the Wild Things. However, I think you could feel it in stadium that it felt bleak at 3-1 because you knew how Dylan Spain was throwing. Again, the guy, and that's why I said baseball is funny sometimes, the guy has never this year given up more than 3 earned runs. Never. More than 3 earned runs. He gave up 4 tonight as a result of a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning for Washington, and Tommy Caulfield's 3-0 2-run double to the right field corner is the big difference in this ball game. And after that, Washington, to their credit, kept their foot on the gas pedal and scored 4 more times in the bottom of the 8th inning. So let's talk about it. In the bottom of the 3rd, Cole Fowler got the scoring started with a solo homer, his first professional extra base hit and home run, his 7th RBI, made it 1-0. And that was all the scoring until the top of the 6th. Lake Erie got 2 against Jordan DiValerio on their first 4 hits of the game. RBI single by Kenan Irizarry and an RBI single by Dario Gomez made it a 2-1 Lake Erie score. They made it 3-1 in the top of the 7th on an RBI single by Irizarry against Minderts. The run was charged to DiValerio. He gets a quality start, 6 2/3, 5 hits, and 3 runs all earned, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks in this game. We're going to remove the crowd mic from the window as they start to shoot off the fireworks here. The victory for DiValerio is not had, but he did pitch his 6th consecutive quality start, 2 walks and 7 strikeouts for Jordan in this one. And then the Wild Things, with it feeling a bit bleak, again, I think in the stadium you could feel it, maybe not watching so much at home, but you could feel it in stadium. The Wild Things came back to score 3 times in the bottom of the 7th. The leadoff ground roll double by Tyreek Reed on a ball that stuck in the fence. Reed would have to stop at second. Jeff LaCorey followed him with a double to replace him on the base pass, and that made it a 3-2 game. So Washington fought back. They then made, I think, what is a questionable decision. Again, benefit of hindsight here because it didn't immediately work out. Cole Fowler, who was 2 for 2 with a homer and a base hit against Dylan Spain, faced Spain again, and they elected to have Cole bunt LaCorey to third base. All fine and dandy. Sacrifice worked. LaCorey went to third. The next batter, Ethan Wilder, on a 2-strike count, grounded a ball to third. The throw came home. LaCorey was off on a contact play. He was thrown out pretty easily at home plate on a slow roller to third. So then with 2 outs, Ben Watson stepped to the plate, got behind, in a 1-2 count, he singled to left field, inside out of the baseball to the opposite way. That kept the inning alive with runners on first and second. Tommy Caulfield stepped up and on a 3-0 pitch delivered a 2-run double to the right field corner to give Washington a 4-3 lead. The Wild Things would end up adding in the 8th inning 4 more. And it was on the error that Tyreek does not get an RBI on. The RBI single by Jeff LaCorey, and then later in the frame, much later in the frame, in fact, a 2-run single by Tommy Caulfield that made it an 8-3 Washington lead. The winner tonight is Lex Mindertz. He gets his first professional win. The loser is Spain. He gets the loss because he is charged with all 4 of the runs there, even though the back 2 are unearned. Spain suffers the loss. He is now 6-3. And the save goes to Joe Nahas. It is his second of the season for Washington. The time of the game was 2 hours and 32 minutes, and it was played in front of an announced attendance tonight of 2,750. 275 for the bidding on Grandma's house here on Happy Gilmore night. 2,750 the attendance at EQT Park in a quickly played game, but a game that Washington came back and for the first time, they weren't trailing after 7, I guess, but they weren't trailing. Well, they were trailing after 6. That was only the 3rd win all year, trailing after 6 innings. So this is a comeback win.
Yes.
For Washington, scoring 3 times in the bottom of the 7th, 4 times in the bottom of the 8th to win the game. Joe Nahas picks up a 2-inning save. I think, a really impressive win for Washington, where they were down but not out, and then the big guns were big guns tonight. And that's what you needed to start this series. That is a huge win for the Wild Things at home.
Like I mentioned, this is the first time anybody outside of Florence, and again, it's not exactly a pitcher-friendly ballpark there at Thomas More Stadium. This is the first time since June that anybody has gotten to this Lake Erie team like that, let alone when you have arguably the best pitcher this year in the entire Frontier League on the mound. That is the worst start of the year for Dylan Spain. Not only that, you got to arguably the best bullpen in the Frontier League to go with it. And I think you're absolutely right. This was a playoff atmosphere. This felt like a playoff game. And not only that, you showed what the Wild Things can do in a game of heightened importance, and you see exactly the potential that this team has. And before we wrap things up, I have been asked by my family to give a shout-out to our Basset Hound, Hank, who went to the vet today. So, Wild Things win. I guess that's some consolation for Hank on his visit to the vet.
Final line totals: Washington 8 runs on 12 hits and air, 6 left. For Lake Erie, 3 runs on 6 hits and air and 4 left. Again, the winner is Mindertz. He is 1-0. The loser, Dylan Spain, 6-3. The save, Nahas, is second. 2:32 time a game, 27:50 the announced attendance. Washington breaks Lake Erie's 7-game win streak, and the Crushers fall for the first time in a while and are now 40-28. Washington is 39-31 and 2 back of first place in the Frontier League Central Division. Last look around the out-of-town scoreboard before we sign off the air. Lake Erie and Schaumburg have been postponed, Schaumburg and Mississippi have been postponed. They are in for a wild next couple of days now in Mississippi, and a long next couple of days. Looks like they'll continue their originally scheduled game, or the game from getting rained out last night, tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Then they've got to play. I'm guessing they're going to lose a game there, actually, unless they want to play 2 tomorrow and 2 Sunday, which is probably the plan now, having the rain out at Trustmark Park. Windy City with a 7-3 lead. Bottom of the 8th inning at Arsenal BG Ballpark in Sauget, Illinois over Gateway. Joliet a 4-2 lead over New Jersey. That's in the 9th inning at Slammers Stadium. In the 8th inning at Clover Stadium in Pomona, New York, the Boulders a 9-1 lead over Down East. Florence and Evansville are in extras at Thomas More Stadium, tied at 3. Those are the 2 bottom dwellers of the Central Division standings. Brockton beats Sussex County 4-3. Ottawa leads at Trois-Rivières 8-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Tri-City leads at Quebec in the bottom of the 9th 4-3. And Washington an 8-3 winner over the Lake Erie Crushers. We will be back from Avon, Ohio tomorrow night. This series now shifts to Crushers Stadium with the trade from earlier in the season on game dates. So this series continues tomorrow, airtime 6:50 on the Wild Things Baseball Network for a 7:05 first pitch in Avon. Zach Kirby 4-4 with a 5.54 earned run average takes the ball for Washington against lefty Darian Reagans, a 2023 Frontier League All-Star. He is 5-3 with a 2.62 earned run average on the season. That's the pitching matchup. I'll be with you from Avon tomorrow in, roughly 21 hours from Crushers Stadium with the middle game of this important weekend series between the top 2 teams in the Frontier League Central Division. Until then, we say so long and thank you for tuning in on the Wild Things Baseball Network from EQT Park in Washington, Pennsylvania on Happy Gilmore night. and a fireworks Friday. The Wild Things have some fireworks late in the game to win it 8-3 over Lake Erie, and the series now shifts to Avon. For Matthew Gustafson, I'm Kyle Dawson. Okay, bye.
Team doubles with 3 homers. Waves and misses at the 0-2 changeup for strike 3, and that's a quick second out for Jordan DiValerio.
DiValerio winds home an 0-2, and Gonzalez loses the bat up onto the concourse as he swings and misses for strike 3.
Not going to need it anyway.
Yeah, not going to need it anyway. Well, you can't really hit when the bat's not in your hands, so the swing and miss is the final out of the top of the first inning. Jordan winds and deals home another 3-2, called strike 3, and Jordan's got his third strikeout for the second out of the sixth inning. Here's the 0-2, swing and a miss. Franco down on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for DiValerio, 2 away in the third. On the year with 6 runs batted in. He does not yet have an extra base hit as a pro, but he swung it well, 2-0. And that is roped out toward left center field. Dixon ranging back to the wall. Goodbye! There is the first extra base hit as a professional. It also serves as Cole Fowler's first professional home run. And Washington on the board first, 1-0. You like that, Matt?
They get Gonzalez to chase, couldn't quite get him. Now the 2-2. Waves and misses at the changeup. Tag is applied, and that's another 3-up, 3-down inning for Jordan DiValerio. Now delivers. Fastball grounded to the first baseman. Check throws it to the shortstop Wilder on to first for the inning-ending double play. A nice stretch by DiValerio to get the job done. And another 3-up, 3-down inning, although a little bit unconventionally, will send us to the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, check swing by Knotts, and he went for strike 3. Beer batter ends up getting rung up, and that is a huge punch out for Jordan DiValerio.
Which will be due up 4th in the 8th inning as Reed lines it up the left field line for extra bases up against the wall. At second base, LaCorey showed bunt and took ball 1. Now he ropes it up the right field line for extra bases. Goes to the opposite corner. Jeff LaCorey is going to pull into second with a run-scoring double. Back-to-back doubles for Washington, and forget what I said last half. We got a 1-run game on Waddy. Here's Spain's delivery, and it's a line drive, or really a ground ball, sent through the left side for a base hit. Wilder will stay at second, and that'll flip it to the top of the order for Caulfield just to do. Here's the 3-0 to Caulfield. Swings and lines it up the right field line. Gonna score the tying run. Edwards is in, being waved around third as the throw goes into second is Watson. He scores. Washington takes the lead on the 2-run hit by Tommy Caulfield, 4-3.
Now the 0-2 delivery. Fastball off the outer edge for strike 3. Looking for another strikeout. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball, ring him up again. Back-to-back strikeouts looking, and that's a big out, number 2.
Here's the 1-1 to Reed. Swung on and he popped him up. Short right field, long run for the second baseman. And right fielder, it is dropped. Reed comes onto the base pass. Lagrange in to score. And now Jeff LaCorey against Pearson as he waves it out towards short left center field. This will fall in the Bermuda Triangle. Check home. 6-3 Washington as LaCorey pokes one out there. Back at second, 2-0 to Caulfield. Swung on, ground ball right side and through. Base hit. Reed comes in to score. LaCorey comes in to score. A 2-run hit for Caulfield again. He's driven in 4 in the last 2 trips. And the Wild Things have a bigger lead at 8-3.
Wild Things put another crooked number up. Uh-oh.
2-2, ground ball back toward the middle, a chance for 2. Edwards, bag 1, first double play. Man, is he a slick fielder at shortstop. All in one stride, fielded the ground ball, stepped on second, and threw it on to first base. 0-2 again, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Washington comes back from down 3-1 to win 8-3 with 7 in their final 2 turns to the plate tonight. And a huge start to the series opener and this weekend set against the Lake Erie Crushers.